Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to bring you another pick and prediction video in college football. We're talking week 3 matchup between the Florida Gators and the LSU Tigers in Death Valley, a night game between two SEC rivals. Let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with the Gators offense versus the LSU Tiger defense. So in this game, it's really all about DJ Lagway, right? You talk DJ Lagway, first you got to think about last season. Had a great freshman year, had a lot of promise. Everybody's expecting him to take a big leap forward as a sophomore. But then he gets hurt in the offseason or has to rehab in the offseason. He misses all of spring practice. Then he misses nearly all of fall practice. He didn't start practice since I believe about 2 weeks or so before the start of the season. So you got to think rust is involved. He's going to be rusty. Any great player, doesn't matter how great you are, anybody's going to be rusty with that kind of layoff. Go into the Long Island game, and you could see it. Now, you could see it if you watch the game. Most people aren't going to watch Florida versus Long Island, so they're not going to see it. They're just going to see 50-0 victory and think, oh, well, same old right now for the Gators. But the reality is, if you watch the game, you could see DJ Lagway was rusty. He wasn't crisp in that game, so you could kind of, in a way, see the South Florida game coming as far as his inaccuracies in that game. And he was inaccurate. He was bad in that game. 58 QBR. He's better than that. We know that. But has he knocked off that rust in time for LSU at night? The only way he's going to knock it off was with game reps and practice reps that he's having, during the week. So is he ready now? Is he going to regain that freshman form in time for LSU, a team he beat as a freshman last year? Joining him in the backfield is Jaden Ball. Now, Jaden Ball is in what they call mid-season form. 7.3 yards a carry. He's averaging 5.1 yards after contact right now. There was talk in the preseason that he might be the best running back in the SEC, and right now he's looking like it. So Florida definitely has a running game to lean on. They have an offensive line that's good enough to open holes for him and to protect DJ Lagway. And they got receivers on the outside with a lot of speed to be able to threaten this LSU secondary. So it's really all up to Lagway. Is he going to regain that form? Is he going to be the guy that people think that he can be? On the LSU defensive side, there's some good and some bad. When you talk about the running game, they're only allowing 45 yards rushing per game right now and 1.9 yards per carry. Now, some of that could be how great they are, and some of that could be the competition. They went against Clemson. The win against Adam Randall. I talked about Adam Randall already in a couple of videos. If you convert a wide receiver and put him at running back in fall camp, I don't think you have a running game. That's just me. That's what I believe. I don't think Adam Randall's that guy. He's yet to prove me wrong. Maybe one day this season he will. But as of now, I would say LSU hasn't really gone up against a running game. They certainly haven't gone up against a running back like Jaden Ball. So this is going to be their first real test. Then you got the pass rush, right? So, you got to help out your pass defense. You help out your secondary. LSU secondary with Mansour Delaney's been playing well, but the pass rush has not. Their top 6 players, look at their top 6 players on the D-line, just D-line, the average pressure rate right now is 5.9%. That is not good. They went into the portal to replace edge rushers like Braden Swinson they had last year, who was a monster, and they presumably paid big NIL money for Jack Pyburn, edge rusher from Florida, and Patrick Payton, edge rusher from Florida State. They're right now averaging at 5.5% pressure rate. So it's not paying off right now. Now, it could change, but as of right now, the LSU defense in terms of pass rush versus the Florida Gator offense, you have to think that there's a big advantage in the Gator offensive line to be able to protect DJ Lagway in this game. So let's move on to the Gator defense versus the LSU Tiger offense. Now, if you look at the Gator defense, their problem has been stopping the run. At least it was last week. Gave up 128 yards to USF. Now, that's not a lot, but 66 of that was to the quarterback. That's where the issues lie. Mobile quarterbacks have given Florida Gators problems in the past. Obviously, that's not going to be the case in this game. Nussmeier is a pocket passer. So now you have to say to yourself, well, can LSU run the ball against his, LSU run the ball traditionally against this Florida Gator defensive front? Well, K. Durham is off to a slow start in the running game for LSU. And a lot of that has to be attributed to the offensive line. They have been poor run blocking. 63% of the time, Caden Durham is hit at the line of scrimmage. That's terrible. 63% of the time he's getting hit at the line. 3.4 yards per carry. Last week against Louisiana Tech, K. Durham, 13 carries, 29 yards. His longest carry against Louisiana Tech was 5 yards. Nothing is happening on the ground. Then you look at Florida's front seven, and they add in Caleb Banks, who in my opinion is the best defensive lineman on Florida. He's the best front seven player on Florida. He's missed the first 2 games. He's finally healthy, finally going to be back for this game. That's a big boost to the defense. He was getting some preseason All-American hype back before he got hurt. So that's a huge boost for the Gator defense. If he's ready, if he's not rusty and he's ready to go, that could be trouble for the LSU running game. But they can always lean on their passing game. Nussmeier is still projected as a first-round pick. They have a great wide receiver room. Probably the only receiver room better than theirs is Ohio State's, with Nick Anderson, Antonio Anderson, Barryon Brown, and Xavier Thomas. The Gator secondary is going to have their hands full. They're not going to be able to cover these guys for 60 minutes. So Nussmeier is going to find openings. He's going to find guys down the field if he attempts it. That's been one thing with Nussmeier early on. He hasn't really been pushing the ball downfield. But if he does, I think he's going to find pockets in this Gator secondary to be able to hit some big plays through the air. So then ultimately, how do I think this game is going to play out? Who do I think is going to win? The spread went from 9 to 7.5, and it went quickly. So that tells me that the Sharps see what I see, right? And that's the Gators are a much better team than the team that lost to South Florida a week ago. You can't possibly think that that's the Florida Gator team. There's too much talent on this team. The only way the Gators are going to look like that again is if they've given up on the season, because their head coach, Billy Napier, is on the hot seat. In the preseason, this game on paper looked like it was going to be a huge back and forth, close type classic kind of game. And that's how I still see it. I still think this is going to be a really close game. The winner of this game is going to be decided by who can get the balance. I think LSU is going to be able to throw the ball in this game. I think Nussmeier is going to find people open. I think LSU is going to score some points. I don't think LSU is going to be able to run the ball. I don't think they're going to have any balance at all. I think Florida, Lagway, can find some people open if he's, back to his old self. He can find some people open, and he's definitely got the better running back. I know LSU's front seven has stuff to run this season, but they have not faced a running game like this yet. This is going to be the real test for them. So I would lean that Florida has a better shot at balance in this game than LSU does. And because of that, give me Florida with a plus 7.5. I'm not saying Florida's going to go into Death Valley and win, but I'm saying they're going to have a very good chance at pulling it off. Go ahead and give me the Gators in 7.5. But anyway, that wraps it up. So that is another game on tap. I have one more game on tap for you. So if you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, and you can tune into that one as well. And take care.